Hear him see things sort of say that I had the top line with Kessler. He said had punt a lot, but just weren't doing much, and I would tend to agree. I thought the first period.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dear Mama Sal. Saturday afternoon, and as you can see, I've got a jacket on. It's the first time this year, but it is just a little strange weather. You could say we are well into fall, and as you watch wherever you can see behind me, you're going to watch some beautiful trees go down. This is a lovely avenue of trees. Actually, I wonder if you can. You need to look on this side. There's just this beautiful avenue of colors here, for those of you who enjoy that. I know a lot of you have commented on it, so that's why I'm going to keep letting you know when I see something that I think you would enjoy in terms of color. It's a foggy day, as you can probably see in the far distance. And I'm on my way to get my beautiful haircut. And I say beautiful hair because I am extraordinarily lucky, and I'm very grateful for it, that at my age I have hair that is full and has body, and well, especially if I put the right products in it. But it grows and it's fairly thick, and all those sort of things that you would pray for at my age, to have hair that still did roughly the right things. And so I am very, very grateful for that, and I know that some of my viewers are close to my age group, and some of you are nowhere near it. And I can tell you that as you grow older, your hair changes its consistency. And so I'm very, very fortunate that mine has, for the large part, stayed pretty good. And I hope it will remain that way. I'm not sure what creates that. I think part of it's genetic, part of it is just, it's the hair you're born with, sort of thing. But I don't know. I'm still a great believer in vitamin C. I drink milk. I know that, I probably should be drinking 1%, but I don't. I drink 2%, and I do still eat cheese, and so my doctor would like me to stop doing that. But I've got strong bones and nails and stuff like that, and I enjoy that, and I'm going to keep doing that. I'll make other adjustments, but I don't know if you guys understand where I'm coming from on that. You can end up doing all the right things and being miserable as sin. And some of you can do all the right things and be happy as a lark. Now, I'm thinking about Jamie, one of our viewers. It's just amazing what she's doing. But for some people, what we're looking for is a slight life change to make a major difference. And I think that's really what I appreciated in the support that I got from people like Jamie and Jen and everybody else who was doing my Fitness Pal, which was I could make slight changes and make quite a difference. Now, the thing was that when I went away for the birthday party, I, of course, put on weight, and I put on a fair stack, actually, and which surprised me because I really didn't eat that much. But then lumpia probably wasn't high on the list of good foods to be eating either. But it was the only thing, for example, I could eat at the birthday party because of my allergy. Well, that and desserts, which I could have done without, but oh God, they were good. So anyway, so I put on weight when I was away. And that sort of disheartened me a bit, because I think I went I mean, let me talk real numbers here. I started this whole process at 217. There are a lot of people saying, gosh, Sal, you're not obese, but I am. I was at 217. I'm 5'7", but 217 is still a heck of a weight. Now, luckily, I carry it fairly well. You know, I am tall, and it distributes fairly well. But, you know, 217 on anybody's scale is a pretty heavy weight. So that's where I started when I started my fitness pal. And then, as you guys know, on the Battle of the Bulges, the first thing I did was lose 6 pounds in a week. And I thought this was going to be a no-brainer. And it would have been, people, if I'd stayed on the Total Gym and carried on drinking that much water, which of course I didn't. And I knew that was going to be my reality, which is why when I set my goals, I said I would probably do 30 minutes of exercise a week. That's what I said as a goal. I haven't done that. So I got to, you know, when I came back from the weekend, I had to make a decision, you know, do I want to go back to this or not? You remember I've talked about this before, the crisis of commitment. What am I going to do here? Am I going to quit? Because I put on, and I think I put on about 4 pounds while I was away. And I wasn't snacking in the car or doing any of those bad things. So you can imagine how disappointed I was. Because I was back to, actually I lie. I was back to 214, 215, somewhere in there. Yeah, so pretty upsetting. So then I had to have a very serious talk to myself. And thank goodness for Manon and Jen, who have been, and quite honestly Leslie as well, who've all been really good in their own way, and Chrissy, you know, been really good in their own way in helping me through this. And I actually did something that's very difficult for me. I asked for help. I don't do that easily. I don't think any of us do. And I put out a shout out and said, hey guys, I need some help here. I need some help to get back on track. And that's basically all I did, was to ask for that help. Now the interesting thing was how I got it. You see, I think just by asking for it, I got strength in that alone, because I knew I wanted to do something, otherwise I wouldn't have advertised it. And then I really loved, you know, Jamie came through and said, Sal, you can do this, or you know, one of them came through, and one of the support teamers came through. And of course, Jen always is great at this. And Jen just said, Jen noticed that I went through the first 24 hours and hadn't updated my food diary. So guess what? She called me. She held me accountable and said, hey, you haven't filled in your food diary today. Well, you know why I hadn't filled it out. I hadn't been very good. Duh. Jen knew that too. But what Jen also knew was I need to start filling it out again, so I need to start getting accountable, and I need to start making those choices again. Bless you, Jen. I really appreciated that. So I did start filling out the food diary again, and it was difficult because I scraped on the first day, I think. And then I've discovered that apparently I'm going to have a bit of a challenge, because one of Laurie's greatest meals is her lasagna. She cooks a really mean lasagna. And so when she was feeling a little bit chirpier a couple of days ago, she made a kick-ass lasagna. It really was. It was great. And I purposely didn't have as much as I would probably want to have, but more than I should have. And what amazed me is what that came out at. I mean, I just put it in as generic lasagna, homemade. I mean, the sodium in that thing was unbelievable. And never mind the fat and everything else. So I topped all the limits on that day. I've never done that before. It's very pretty. everything went red on me, and I've never done that. In the time that I've been doing my fitness pal, I've never seen all the numbers go red before, but they did. And then I just laughed and went, okay, I guess I shouldn't be doing that every day. And so I was a little bit more careful, and then thank goodness I made a commitment to Leslie that because of what she had done the week before when I was away, I was now not going to eat snacks during the broadcasts. Now that's made for shorter broadcasts, much to some people's they're not very happy about that. But on the other hand, it has stopped me doing that. And it's only as loyalty to Leslie that I'm doing this, because I want to do something, really difficult for me, and not snacking while I broadcast is really difficult for me. But I can do it if I put my mind to it, and that's what I've been doing. So this whole battle of the bulges thing is quite the challenge. But what really sort of motivates me here is, can it be any more difficult than giving up smoking? I don't think anything, or very few things, are more difficult than giving up smoking. And if I have managed to give up smoking, then surely I can lose the weight. So that's what I keep reminding myself. This is not about perfection. This is about get back on track and do what you're meant to do. The difference I think with smoking is, I am well aware I have so much as one puff of a cigarette and I could be smoking 20 a day again in a heartbeat. Probably take 3 months, 4 months, maybe even 6 months, but I would be back to smoking 20 a day without any problem at all. And as Christine so rightly said to me on the broadcast yesterday, eat rather than smoke. And there are some times where I can really feel that, I could really do with a cigarette now, and then of course what you do instead is have a snack. So it's really a battle. That's why I call it the battle of the bulges, because I am aware that I'm going to have some battles here to overcome, and it's all to do with my ego and my little kid. We were talking about that on the broadcast last night, or yesterday afternoon. We had a really good discussion on the little kid in us and what that can do. So I am really struggling with that part of me that wants to eat. Now that doesn't make me a loser or a bad person or whatever. It just means that's my challenge. And we've all got challenges, and that was the point that I was trying to make yesterday. And what I was really delighted to hear about was somebody brought up the issue of Elizabeth Smart during the broadcast, and talking about how she had, during an interview, compared being a victim of something as horrific as she went through. You will remember she got kidnapped and was held hostage and was a sex slave for a very weird couple of people for nearly a year. And what she said was that she learned that if there is a beautiful vase on a table, an antique, beautiful, very expensive vase, and somebody knocks the table, and because of that knock the vase falls and is broken, it is not the fault of the vase. Right? It's not the vase that was the problem. It was the idiot who knocked the table that is the problem. And that's how she was able to recover from the abuse that she endured, was she could actually see that she wasn't the problem here. And she was also talking, and I thought it was beautiful, about the fact that she kept remembering what her mother had told her. And somewhere her mother had had this discussion at some level with her. And said, in this sort of situation, to survive is the most important thing. Do what you need to do to survive. And so I know a lot of people are going through a very tough time at the moment, and I've certainly got somebody in my life that's going through a very tough time at the moment. And I can't help but feeling that is the difficult part, where just as I battle every day with what I'm going to eat or not eat, or whether I'm going to smoke or not smoke, some people are battling every day as to whether they can cook. And it's not whether they can, because they can if they want to. It's do they want to. And sometimes the future looks so bleak and so incredibly difficult. And I know, because I've been there. And I know what it's like to be broke, because I've been there. And I know what it's like to be lonely, because I've been there. And I know what it's like to be depressed, because I've been there. But I'm a survivor. And that's a mentality. So somewhere in all those things going wrong, my mind says, enough. I'm going to fight now. I don't want the world to control me. I want to control my world. And, when you want to control your world, you have to sort of choose. You don't have to. But you need to choose to make different choices. Because if you keep blaming the world for what's happened to you, you will continue to be depressed and miserable. If you keep thinking that it's not fair that they did this to you, then you are not in reality. There is no fair in this world. We make our own happiness. We make our own misery. And I'm where I need to be. I'll continue this later. Bye for now.